Welcome. Let's get your accounts receivable set up so you can efficiently manage invoices and keep payments on track. Accounts receivable is a simple setup after billing and invoicing is configured. We have a video covering billing and invoicing setup that you should check out first. This video builds on your existing setup by walking through the key accounts receivable components and how they support your process, helping you keep finances in check from invoice to payment. First, let's walk through the key components of accounts receivable and what each one does. For accounting periods, this is where you define the timeframes for transactions. It ensures accuracy and control over when payments and adjustments occur. Transaction types categorize financial activities like payments or refunds. Aging settings help group outstanding invoices by age, making overdue payments easier to track. Bank accounts are optional. Add them if you plan to use deposits to group and reconcile receipts. GL codes, also optional, map transactions to your ledger for better reporting. Let's take a closer look. The big difference between accounts receivable and billing is that to use our accounts receivable, the accounting periods become a required configuration item. The accounts receivable module is heavily dependent upon knowing what is and isn't acceptable for a transaction date, whether it's a payment or an adjustment. So you are required, if you're using AR, to set up these accounting periods. Our transaction types is another required setup for accounting. The great news about our transaction types is when you purchase our accounting module, you'll already get a set of transaction types that are dedicated to you, so you don't have to set up new ones. You would only have to set up new ones if there's a different way that you collect money that we do not give you on our defaults. The aging settings is also a required setup item. The great thing about aging is that it does come with some default items. So the default settings on this is that we are always going to base the aging on the due date of the invoice, and then you'll get these three just general buckets. These can be adjusted at any time based on your preferences. The next setup is bank accounts. Bank accounts is an optional setup. You would only need to set up bank accounts if you plan on using the deposit feature of the AR module. If you want to be able to take the cash receipts that you've been collecting and organize them into a deposit as a way of reconciling those cash receipts, then you will need to set up bank accounts. If you're just using AR payment reporting as a general ledger, but you don't necessarily want to track how you're depositing those, you are not required to set that up or use our deposit feature. Last but not least, GL codes. GL codes is an optional setup in this particular module. The GL codes would be used if you want to do GL distribution. If you plan to use our product to identify GL transactions and transfer them to your ERP or to assist with subledger reconciliation, then you would want to set up GL codes. In short, the requirements for our AR are the accounting periods, transaction types, and aging settings. Bank accounts and GL codes are the optional setups for AR. Thank you for watching. Continue your learning by exploring the Accounts Receivable series, where you'll find videos covering everything from GL distribution and payment terms to invoice and payment register overviews, helping you get fully set up and ready to go.